Friends, there are so many people that are dealing with leg cramps, and I've got some solutions for you that we're going to go through. But in general, leg cramps are a sign or a result of neuromuscular weakness. That means that the messaging between the brain and the muscles is not happening. So what we want to do is improve that neuromuscular connection. So there's a lot of people that are saying a lot of crap out there, and they really don't know what they're talking about. And they say things like, oh, if you got leg cramps, you should drink more water. Or, oh, you got leg cramps, you should eat more bananas. Okay, first of all, you probably should eat more bananas and drink more water anyways. Most people are dehydrated, but that's another video. What we want to do though is work on improving that neuromuscular connection. Now, leg cramping is a muscle tightness, and that tightness is a result of the body going into a protective state. So what we want to do is address that neuromuscular imbalance and bring the body out of its protective state. How do we do that? By starting to activate muscles, getting the big muscles working in the body. So once we get the major muscles working and working properly, the small muscles that are probably cramping up won't cramp up anymore. Another thing that I found about the reason why muscles cramp up is because if a muscle isn't used to working, and remember that working means to be able to contract and contract on demand or shorten. If a muscle is not used to shortening, it starts to go, oh my God, this is not normal. I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna tighten up. So that's what basically happens when we cramp up. So what we're gonna do is we're going to address 4 muscles. We're going to be addressing the glutes. The glutes are the most important part. I'm assuming that a lot of you are dealing with either hamstring cramps or calf cramps. Just making an assumption. So if you're dealing with either hamstring cramps or calf cramps, that's because your glutes aren't working properly. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2, we also want to address the front body. So if we're dealing with the hamstrings and or calves, we want to be addressing the opposite muscles, the muscles that should be shortening, and so that these other muscles can lengthen properly. So we want to get our quads working. So I'm going to show you a simple muscle activation to get the quads working. And then we also want to get some of the muscles in our shins working. Just for posterity, we're looking at anterior tibialis, and we're also looking at the fibularis muscles. And there's a few there. I'm not going to cite them all, but I'll show you quickly how we can start to activate them. So you guys ready to dive in? Okay, friends, so the very first muscle we're gonna look at is our glutes. So coming down onto your backs. Now, normally when we wanna activate the glutes, we wanna lift up into what we call bridge pose. And even if you lift up a little, you can feel your glutes engaging. What I wanna do though is just give you a little bit of a practice before we do that. So just bring your hands to your glutes. Feel those nice peaches. We're working on our peaches for the beaches. And I want you to squeeze those glutes as much as possible. Do you feel them working? Good. So that's one way you can already start to get them working. And then relax. And do it again. And even see if you can squeeze your anus. So squeeze your anus, and sometimes I'll even give the instruction, your rectum. Squeeze it. And then relax. Okay, now we're gonna add bridge. So we're gonna bring the arms out to the sides. I don't want you to lift up too much. So squeeze the glutes as much as you can without grinding your teeth, and lift up a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 inches, maybe 4. And just lift up a little bit, squeeze them, and then slowly down. Muscle activation, we generally hold for 6 seconds and repeat it 6 times, okay? So squeeze the glutes and then lift up. Good, now maybe lift up this time just a little bit higher, but I want you to find the heels of your feet and press them down without really engaging your hamstrings. Now your hamstrings will engage a bit, but what I don't want to do is have them take over. So if you're dealing with hamstring cramps, this can help you, but you definitely want to get those glutes working and then slowly down. That was a little longer than 6 seconds. Okay, let's do it again. Very good. And now come up a little bit higher. Really press down into the heels of your feet. Again, don't let the hamstrings take over. If they start to take over, come on down, or come on down and just take a break. Okay, and then just resume, but maybe don't come up so high. But if your hamstrings aren't taking over and you do feel your glutes working, start to lift up as high as you can. And then come on down, and we'll do it one more time. Lift up as high as you can, squeezing your glutes. Oh, this is so great. This bridge has saved so many of my students' lives, literally. You're not just working the glutes here, you're working so many other areas, but the glutes are the major ones, and then come on down. So the next thing that we're going to do is work on the quads, and a lot of hamstring cramps are happening because the quads aren't engaging properly. So we need to get the quads working so the hamstrings can relax, okay? Sometimes with myself, because I have very weak quads, I've had to work really hard to get them working properly. If I feel like a hamstring cramp is coming on or is impending, I'll do this practice and it fixes it right away. Okay, so bend one knee. I'm only going to do this on the one side. If you want to do it on both sides, stop the video and go back and do it on the other side. So we're just going to do it on the one side. So you're going to bend one knee, place your hand here, and then very slowly start to straighten the leg. Now, without too much effort, see if you can engage that quad. You feel that quad working really well. And then lower down. And then do it again. Bend the knee. Straighten the leg and engage. Feel the quad working. Now don't like overdo it, because sometimes if you overdo it, that will actually stress out muscles as well. So just engage the quad a bit and then lower down. I'll do it one more time, but you really want to do this for 6 times. So 6 seconds, 6 times each leg. Bend the knee, engage, straighten the leg. Now keep the hand here because I don't want you to be lifting the leg up higher or lowering down, okay? And then come on down. So that's gonna start engaging the quads, especially like the rectus femoris. So the next muscle that we're going to engage is gonna be called anterior tibialis. And so to do that, we're going to bend the knee a little bit. We're gonna turn the foot in and then flex the foot up. And think about driving the toe, the big toe, towards the knee, okay? And then relax and straighten the leg. Okay, bend the knee, turn the foot in, and then start to pull back. And again, think about driving big toe, or even not even the big toe, the base of the big toe towards the knee, okay? And you can feel the front of the shin, the muscle in the front of the shin starting to work here, and then relax. Again, calves start to cramp up because the body feels unstable because a lot of muscles aren't doing their job. So get the front of the shin muscle starting to work. It's going to get the calf to start relaxing. Bend the knee. And by the way, these aren't temporary solutions. These are permanent solutions. You don't have to keep going back all the time and doing these. Maybe for a little bit of maintenance, because your muscles do shut down and stop working due to stress, trauma, and overuse. Relax. I'm gonna do it with just one more time, but again, you can go back and do this 6 seconds, 6 times on both legs. Bend the knee, turn in, flex the foot. And again, driving sort of the first met of the big toe towards the knee, and then relax. Now we're going to work the tibialis or fibularis. And so in order to do that, you're going to bend the knee, also known as peroneus. So you have three peroneus muscles, and this is going to kind of get into all of them. So don't overthink it too much. We can definitely break them down, but for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna give you a simple hack. You're gonna turn the foot out, and then again, this time you're gonna do fifth met towards the knee. So flex up, and that'll start to engage some of these muscles, okay? And then relax. And we're gonna do that just today a few times, but again, go back, practice it 6 seconds, 6 times. So bend the knee, turn out, and then flex the foot. Right, so this is often called dorsal flexion, and the foot is turned out. Okay, so it's rotated out, and then relax, and we'll do it one more time. Bend the knee a bit, turn out, and then flex the foot. All right, and then relax. So, quick recap. We start to cramp because muscles aren't working properly. That neuromuscular connection isn't strong, and so muscles start shutting down. As a result, they tighten up. In extreme circumstances, they cramp up. Another reason could be that the muscle hasn't been used forever, and when you do start to use it, aka you start to shorten it, it'll just start to cramp up because the body doesn't know what to do, so it goes into a survival state. Eating bananas and drinking more water, peace out. Do that, but that's not going to be the best solution. It's gonna make you feel good. Drinking water and eating bananas will always make you feel good. The best solution, get the muscles of your body working. And this is one of the ways to do that.